Professor Snape.
It is great.
Alan Rickman, to me, was always Snape, because Joe Rowling showed me some early drawings. She'd done this sketch of Snape and looked just like Alan Rickman. He was a little reluctant because he has done this particular type of villain in the past, so he didn't want to be typecast as this villain. So David and I took Alan to dinner to convince him he had to play the role. And I remember the car ride through London with David driving, with Alan sitting in the front seat and me sitting in the back, and David almost got in a car accident. And I remember saying, David, don't kill us before Alan says no, you know, because we just expected him to say no, but for some reason, 2 days later, he came back and said yeah.
And I was asked to do it. I went and had dinner with Chris Columbus and David Heyman, and the three of us sort of corporately said, okay, then let's. I had much choice in the matter. Lots of godchildren and nephews and nieces were not only excited, I think insistent. You know what he wears, sort of. You know what his hair is like. And I walk onto the set with black lenses in my eyes and all black outfit and a black wig. And one thing I can say for sure is that as soon as I put that costume on, something happens. Every year there'd be the 7 weeks of buttoning up all those buttons, putting on the wig and going, all right, okay, so where I am. It depended how much she'd eaten the night before, because the buttons got tighter and tighter as the years went on. I said the sleeves should be really tight and there should be a lot of buttons, because that helps me, the idea that he has to do that. It's actually buttoned in. And if you've got a sleeve that finishes there, that's very different to a sleeve that finishes there. It was very important to me that that's where it finished. And then buttons were tight up there. And he's only got one set of clothes, clearly, which last quite well. And, you know, you're as focused as he is. Well, he's very focused. That meant it's somebody who's very concentrated. You know that he lives a solitary kind of existence. You know, he doesn't have much of a social life. But you always knew there was an agenda. It was a question of what was that agenda going to turn out to be. Well, of course, there was an agenda, so he wasn't entirely free in the role. What exactly his agenda was? Because you can't imagine that there's any other agenda in his life. Joe Rowling's quite clear. She said he never raises his voice. He doesn't really shout. You're told that he never really raises his voice. Particularly playing Professor Snape, it's such a kind of sense of a continuous energy, and what's he thinking, what's he doing, what's he about, and nobody should really know right until the end. You know, we're not particularly interested in the inner psyche of Severus Snape. He has an outline. He lives within a very tight confines, emotionally, physically. He appears to be one thing, and then you find out a bit more about him as time goes on. Rather than just stand in front of the kids, could I crash in the door? And then you discover that your character has a lot of explosive energy as well as standing still. You know, I would read the books as they came out and think, oh, right, okay. I read them as we do them. So. No, I'm afraid I just read them as we get there, you know, so I don't have a clue. Can you tell me what happens in the next one? This is what happens now, is it? Fine. Well, I mean, he's a complicated person. Severus Snape's a bit more complicated. It allowed me to think that he was a little more complicated. Yeah. No, because I'm careful not to wear that black wig in the street. Children don't recognize. Yeah. They only know if they see the black hair. And once they get over their confusion that I don't have a load of black hair, and I don't go around with black hair.
That's
I
good
think you
thinking.
could put the wig on a stick and it would sign autographs.
Oh, really? Really? But otherwise, they don't give you the eye as they pass.
No, they believe in the story. I'm not him.
Had you ever? You're not. That's good.
See, the thing is, I never attach a label to any characters I play. It's you using that word. I would never use it. What did I do? I'd saved Harry's life all the time. You know, there's some part of the answer in that is that they're all just people to me. So you have to keep wondering, how come it is that he's saving their lives all the time? You know, some of them want X, some of them want Y, and some of them go about it in different ways. And then you wind up saying, that's a bad man. His house, you know, I often wondered what that would look like. I don't know whether you'd have all these pictures on the walls. The books I could understand, but in a sense, Stuart was absolutely right. This was the house that his parents built, and in a way, all he does is goes there, and you can't believe that he would go into that kitchen and cook any food. You wonder what he eats. No, I wasn't going to let anybody else finish.
If you could keep any item from the set as a souvenir, what would you want to keep?
Oh, I've taken many.
So it's true. So you can actually take items from the set.
No, you are not supposed to.
Not supposed to.
No. No, I'm not telling you. I've got secrets in my cupboard. Why wouldn't I? I've been Snape. Get a life.